Hi there, Jody Deane here, and I help you awaken spiritually, embody your soul purpose, and authentically express yourself. Just be yourself. Everyone else is taken, so how about being you, the authentic you, the unique you, and actually allowing yourself to come out into the world rather than pretending, conforming, hiding, shrinking away, right? Which is often what many of us have done and continue to do until we decide otherwise. Sometimes that is through a need to break out of the shell, and sometimes that is through an incident in life, an emergency where there is an emergence and there's a new level of understanding, and we're like, oh my goodness, I've been playing so small, now it's time to play big, now it's time to honor my truth. So anyway, in this video I'm going to talk about being yourself, being authentic you, and also what happens with some of my clients. So I've just come off a 2.5 hour Zoom with my Freedom Key group, and it's been fabulous because I allowed myself to fully share authentically in there about this thing that we call the Lion's Gate, which is a astrological alignment right now. It happened yesterday, but we're still in that kind of the space of it, the portal of it, let's say. And it's really about opening the heart and shining your light. And I was able to share that, as well as go a lot deeper with what this energy is all about, and also share some of my own personal experiences with the group. And the beautiful thing is that we create this safe environment where we can allow ourselves to be truly ourselves, and it's non-judgmental and everything else, and it's just much more of a space to share about awakening, share about our soul's gifts, to share about our wins and our struggles and our challenges around this. And so we're about, I started this, I launched this back in the spring, early spring, and so we've been going about half a year now, and it's just getting more and more powered up and potent. And so actually we've had some great wins in the group. Some of the members have been really, the participants have been really starting to take action and allow their soul gifts to come out and share who they really are and why they're really here, and allow that deep core essence to radiate through into their life, and allow their purpose to come out and shine, and actually be of service to others in that way, in a way that they claim their own value, and in the way that actually means a robust income as well. So actually starting to actually receive money, have income from sharing the gifts. And for many of us, this is still like a pipe dream. This whole idea of being able to live abundantly and joyfully, sharing our purpose, living our passion, and really being ourselves authentically in the world. And that's, I find that still remarkable that the 99% are living the old way in the old paradigm still, and thinking, we have to have a job, we have to work for someone else, and be constricted in so many different ways, and not share our viewpoints, and like something like awakening is something to be shy about and ashamed of somehow. Like we can't talk about it, and I'm absolutely on the other side of the scale here. It's really about this expression and this self-expression, and I find that the more and more I'm able to do that and allow that for myself, I hold that space for others to also allow that in themselves. And so we create this incredible field of awareness, of love, of conviviality, of togetherness, and of honoring and respect, right? Because it's ultimately about that. It's about this respect, truly seeing what does respect mean. It's rare, which is again, to repeat, right? To again, do something again. And respect is to see. So seeing again, looking again, genuinely, really seeing deeply. And this is something that got championed very much, the way we understand things in the Renaissance, and up until the kind of 18th, 19th century, the courtly way of doing things was very much this reverence, which also means to kind of look again, to really honor someone and to really allow the person to be seen from ourselves, and it's vice versa as well. So I love this this idea and this sense of what this means, the respect and the reverence. So this comes and feeds into the work we do and the work I do, and it is really about pushing through and all of the programming, conditioning and resistance that comes up, and just actually from a place of joy, a place of celebration, and a place of courage. And so what we're really doing here, and with all the work I do and with all the things I'm about more and more and more, with my different programs, and the one-on-one work, is to allow ourselves to really drop into our truest guidance, our innermost knowing and innermost being. And that might be different for everyone, right? It might be a sense of the soul. It might be the sense of the innermost being. It might be the higher self. It might be the depths of the heart. And allow ourselves to come from that place, and also to be guided from that place. And so, and in a grounded way as well. So very much this is also about anchoring and earthing, and being grounded on the earth, because we don't want to be flying out there without any kind of grounding, because that leads casualties. And I've been there myself multiple times, so I've had to get grounded. And this is also where the elements come in, the 5 elements that I work with as well: earth, air, water, fire and spirit. And so if we don't have the earth, if we don't have that balanced, then we're completely out of kilter, and we're not rooted and we're not grounded. And so we can easily fall, and fail ultimately. So that's really important, to have that piece in place, and to have that as a habit as well, to be really rooted and grounded. And so then we can fly high, we can spread our wings, right? So if you think of the image of a bird, right, it has to be perched. It has to have its 2 feet on the ground in order to be able to spread its wings to fly. When you have an injured bird and it can't even stand up, then it finds it really hard to fly, doesn't it? And so this is the truth of things, and the microcosm in the macrocosm. Nature reflects the inner. The wild without is the wild within, and everything is a metaphor and a representation and symbolic, as well as literal. So I love this approach, and this is kind of like the shamanic approach, which we can draw from very much from all these different traditions as well, the shamanic paths and traditions, and the native peoples and the wisdom keepers. It's phenomenal. So circling back though to what we're talking about here, is to allow this guidance to come in from our truest self, from the truth of knowing, the spirit of truth within us, and what we really know, because all of us have access to this. And of course this is something that the religions and the institutions have kind of blurred out and deleted out of us, is that we have the truth within us. We can access the truth at any given moment. We don't need an intermediary. We don't need it. You have absolute access to all of the universe, all of creation, all knowledge within you right now and at all times. So this is really important to understand, because when we can understand that as a baseline, then we can operate much more nobly, and we can operate with a true sense of leadership and joy, living in this earth now in the 3D, and being in the world, right? Once we fully can integrate that, and that can take time. It's not necessarily something that happens overnight. It's something, yes, and all these awakening things, they can be a quick experience, and I've had many, where we suddenly realize, oh my God, I'm consciousness itself, and we kind of realize source is everywhere, and I am source, and all of that stuff. And this is what many of the modern mystics and also the ancient mystics spoke about, those realizations, and codified them also in the books and the records of knowledge that we look to, right? This kind of golden thread through the mystic traditions also points to that. And so it's not having that knowing, but also then integrating it into our lives and into our daily habit, because it's even though the knowing is, let's say, um, not limited to time and place, what happens is that the habitual ways of doing things and thinking and behaving are still around. And so even though we've had that peep through that Satori experience, where the rubber really hits the road is when we're actually living life, right? And we're with our family and there's re-identification, let's say, with the material, with the ego, with the personality. And so what we need to do is continue that constant awareness to check in and with the truth in every new moment, and vigilance with that as well, in an effortless flowing way, rather than, oh my God, it's so hard. I'm not at all talking about that. I'm not a believer in suffering. And in fact, this is basically the pathway. We're talking about pathways out of suffering here. So with all of this, with the mystic traditions, with the enlightenment path, with the ascension path, etc., healing, it's a path out of suffering. So if you're here for suffering, it's probably not the best place for you. But if you're here for truth and for living joy and knowing infinite love and living your highest timeline, then this is the place for you. All right. So I'll continue. So taking steps from this place of knowing inside, the infinite truth within, and how that relates to our life and our reality and our perception. And what we can receive is guidance to know where to go and what to do. And that's opening with our intuition as well. And so we purify and clean out our centers, our energy centers, and a few of them actually help us with that. And so we have the sacral, which helps us with the gut feeling, which is the sacral center, which is the colors of gold and orange. And then we also have the mind's eye, the pineal gland, that center, the sixth center, which really helps us with the multidimensional awareness, and also the crown as well, the crown chakra. These are the energy centers. And so when we have these aligned and we have these open and clear and functioning correctly, then we have a clear and direct link, channel, let's say, awareness, understanding, or with God's source or with creation itself. And so we can know what's the best timeline for us. We can actually know, we can tune in and know. Now, do we trust it? That's another question, right? And so I see a lot of the work that we're doing and that I'm doing is helping us trust the knowing, trust the guidance that comes through, trust our higher self. And this is, of course, the distrust comes from the programming, the conditioning, the pain and the trauma, the transgenerational patterns that we're dealing with and we're attempting to transmute in this life. And so many of us who might see ourselves as healers, as guides, as coaches, as leaders, as spiritual entrepreneurs, as light workers, as light leaders, we're very much concerned with this, with trusting the true knowing inside, and also then taking action from that place, aligned action, inspired action, right? So this is what this is all about. And so we were just talking about this today in the session on a very deep level about what it means to take this action from this place, and how we must continue to take this action and continue to check in with the truth, because it can change as well. What the best course of action can change, that which is our highest timeline can change. And so what's needed for us to act in the world and behave and do in the world, and the choices and the decisions we need to make, what they call in entrepreneurial speak is how we execute, can shift and change. But what we need to do is actually connect with that and also stay the course when it is true for us to continue that action, and actually be coherent and be integrated with it and commit, right, as well. Because we'll a participant in the group was sharing that they had a guidance on the beach. And it was a 2-minute thing, and they had this clear download of this program they were to create and run and offer to the world. And then they got home, and then they shared it with me, and I was like, oh yeah, absolutely, yes, absolutely, I can see it, and I felt the truth of it and everything else. But then, of course, time goes on, and the mad monkey mind is about the self limitations, the self judging, the monster within, the limiting beliefs turn up, the judging mind, the inner critic, all of that stuff comes out and goes, no, 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 that's not a good idea. No, don't do that. Who are you to do that? You're an imposter. Who are you to do all of this? No, who do you think you are? You shouldn't do that. No, you should just be small, right? And so, a lot of this is based in trauma and also in conditioning. And so this is also through the nervous system as well. So we need to kind of regulate the nervous system, meditate more, exercise, eat well, and all of that. So it's also this purification that we need to do in order to allow ourselves to be clearer and see the lie when it shows up, and see the lie in ourselves, right? That inner critic, is it really true when we criticize ourselves? Is it really true, that thought that I'm too much, or I'm not good enough, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm too big, or I'm too small, or I'm experienced enough, I'm not experienced enough, etc., right? And so we can actually check it out. Is it true? And maintain that sense of inquiry, that spirit of inquiry. Is it true? And really ask, is it true, courageously in the now, and commit to finding out, is it true, rather than just coming along with the first thought that comes along, grabbing onto it and go, oh yes, it's true, look, because it's familiar, because it's what we know, because what we've experienced, right? And so what this is really about is stepping out of that, okay? Stepping out of the familiar, stepping out of the comfort zone, the safe zone, the cage, right? Because guess what? That's why you're watching this. That's why we seek help, courses, education, coaching, mentors, guides, healing, because what we're currently living isn't working for us. It's not enough. It's not making us happy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be seeking to grow. We wouldn't be seeking to shift. We wouldn't be seeking for further knowledge and guidance and encouragement, because we need that courage from within, right? That courage has to come here first. And so from our mentors and guides and speakers and everyone else that we feel inspired by, that nurtures that courage within to come out, because we see, oh, that person's doing it, and that's how they're leading, right? So the encouragement very much is to lead from this inner knowing in this place, and so also act from it and take action and commit and keep on committing and committing and committing. And wow, the more we do that, and the more we co-create community around us, which is also doing the same, and a sense of kindness is present, and also community and co-living or co-experience. So let's say peers who are aligned with these values and are encouraging rather than judging, then we can flourish and flower and go beyond. We can move forward more quickly, right? And that's the difference between person A, who has a download, has a vision, has a dream, and then quickly nullifies it with their egoic mind, the inner critic, etc., and doesn't take action on it and makes it small and gets all fearful and shameful and everything else. And person B, who has a similar download, vision, guidance, and embraces it and acts upon it. And literally it can be like, we can have things change in our physical reality within minutes, sometimes days. We can have it weeks. And so literally, like, new things will show up, new experiences will happen, new opportunities, because we're open and we're available to it to happen, and we're allowing, we're acting, and we're in alignment with that guidance and with that higher frequency thought. And so we do that, and we take action, we make that call, we write that email, we start writing that book, or we make that video, as I'm doing now. I had the guidance, okay, here I am sharing. You're finding it valuable? Great. This is what happens when you follow your guidance and you trust from within, and you trust that inner knowing, and allow that to come out, to speak out, to express itself in your own authenticity, how it is right for you to share it in your own way, not that person or that person, not their way, your way. And that requires courageousness as well. And so that's why we develop that habit, and that we cultivate that sense of moving forward, that sense of we trust and we execute, we trust and we do, we make this thing happen, because it's coming from within, and it's coming from a heart place, and it's coming from an expression place and an authentic place within us that's inspired. And so we get to do this. So let's just take a breath right now. And say yes to self right now. Say yes to self. Say yes to what guidance is coming through. You may be having guidance right now that maybe there's something coming through. There's an intuition, a thought, a feeling, a nudge, a hunch. Gosh, maybe it's I want to know more about this guy, Jody, and how he works with people, or maybe it's there's something else that I need to do. I need to start painting, or whatever it is, right? Make that call, write that email, message someone, tell them you love them. Could be many things. Invite someone into your world in some way, or tell someone to get out of your world in some way as well. Like put a boundary when there's like an infringement as well. That's also part of this, right? Allowing that inner knowing to come out and go, yeah, actually no, I'm better than this, and enforce a boundary when there's someone who's not respecting who you really are, right? And your love and your light. So that's really interesting as well. Honoring emotions, big part of all of this, and being compassionate to self, major part of all of this. So as well as developing that awareness, cultivating that connection with self and connection with source. And so that's what we do, that's what I do. This is how I work, and what I call my method is the body, heart, spirit method, because we work with the intelligence of the body and the groundedness and the anchoring to the earth. We work with the light in the heart and the sense of love and compassion and kindness to self and to others, and allowing our heart to guide us, and that opens up with our intuition as well, and with the highest guidance, and with the spirit. Okay, so really the inspiration that wants to come through us, and then taking action from that place and allowing our soul to be expressed, our purpose to be expressed in this body, not fighting with ourselves, but loving ourselves and allowing ourselves to be guided, and knowing that we are protected, that we are guided, and that we are so loved. And so we allow this to take root, to take form, and we move forward in this way, creating, co-creating with love, co-creating a new earth, a new paradigm, a new reality based on strong, true values within the spirit of truth, with love in our hearts, and in a non-dogmatic way, respectful way to all, honoring all things including self, and all beings including self, and trusting. Ultimately this is about trust. Okay, so this is, I would say, central to the whole, everything I've just shared really is this trust, self-trust, trust in life, trust in source, and trusting in this guidance that comes and acting on it. And that's what separates those who are successful, who are light leaders, who are successful in the world, who are doing well, who are expressing, who are happy, who are fulfilled, and those who are not, because they have the nudges but they don't act on them. And so it creates this kind of negative loop cycle, thought loops, etc. And ain't nobody got time for that. So what we're really doing here is cultivating this habit of trust in self, trust in life, that the support will come, that everything will flow into where you're at, because you are open, because you allow yourself to be the vessel, right? That this inspiration wants to pour through you, right? Spirit wants to pour through you, and be grounded in the now reality, because, well, you are allowing, right? You are allowing who you really are, right? And allowing that heart to shine, that bridge between earth and sky to radiate, right? And so this is what this is all about. And so this is what I do one-on-one with people in a container, working one-on-one with coaching and healing, and also we're all infused with the energetic codes of the vortex alignment healing, which I also offer, which is a kind of ground of support within what I'm sharing. And then also in my groups, right, the different groups, and the one I'm running at the moment is the Freedom Key, but I will also be announcing soon another higher level program which is more of a mastermind, let's say, and it's for really taking things to the next level for those who are aligned to do so and feel the call, right? And so you can also put your hand up here if you'd like to know more about it and you'd like to be on the wait list for that, for the higher level mastermind. And this is really for light leadership and for courageous stepping into the next level, the next paradigm, really embodying the new earth and embodying ourselves in our highest form and identity of our higher self in this planet at this time, as a leader, as a light worker. And so so there's that, right? So if you're interested in knowing more about working with me, then do shoot me a message, shoot me a DM, just say interested, and ask you some questions, and we can have a little chat and see what's alive and see what's a fit. And yes, if you're interested in the Freedom Key, just comment freedom below, and I'll also get back to you about that. There are 2 or 3 spaces open right now inside the Freedom Key, so yes, that's also something you might be interested in. And yes, if you'd just like another little chat about, maybe we've had a chat before, but you'd like to know, okay, am I still doing what I'm doing before, or is it things shifted, and what am I offering now in terms of how we could work together, then great, we can do that as well. So there are some options. If this is on YouTube, then there'll be a link to book a call with me, so you can go ahead and do that, and we can chat about any of the options I've said, the Freedom Key, the one-on-one work, which is obviously more of a deep dive, more committed, but also bigger results as well, a lot bigger. One of my clients is just super excited right now because she's created this program which is going to give her like a $30,000 a month, and she's really embodying her soul's gifts, and it's very powerful healing. And she just signed her first client as well for a 4-figure package, and she realizes that she is the person to work with this client, and it's a very powerful match. And so she's really grateful, because if she hadn't stepped up, then that wouldn't be happening. And it's all about trusting, right? It's all about that trust. So I'm kind of holding your hand as we walk together and we take those leaps of faith based in trust and from the heart, and honoring your highest knowing and your higher self's guidance, right? So this is what this is about. So go ahead and do that. Go for it. Go forth and prosper. All right. Okay. Love you. And of course, if you like this, please like. And if you have something to share about this, please comment, and please share if you feel drawn to do so. Maybe someone who might benefit from this. And I work with all different kind of spaces. It's very vast: relationships, career, purpose, spiritual business, as well as spiritual awakening, of course. And really stepping into the new paradigm, the new dimension of you, and letting go of that old self, and letting go of suffering ultimately. So yes, okay, blessings to you all. Take care. Have a lovely rest of the day wherever you are in the world. Bye for now.